The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
Good afternoon. Welcome to another edition of Neighborhood News. Carlos, welcome today.
Welcome to Table Topics. Neighborhood News.
Oh, Jesus. No wonder you look at me.
9 years.
You know what? Before we came on, I was like totally out of it for a minute. I thought, oh my God, Jesus.
But it's good that you remember that, because it's been 9 years since we started as a Neighborhood News. But right now we are Table Topics, and welcome back for another edition. And remember, we are supposed to be on with a new show every Tuesday nights, every Wednesday night. So if you're watching us and it's not a Wednesday night, it's because you're watching a repeat show. So please tune in next week, and we will have a brand new show for you. But stay tuned and listen to our show today, which we have no idea, no agenda. We feel like just the people that it's in charge of the city. Yeah. We punch the card, let's see what's happened today.
Yeah, no, I think I had said something when we were walking in here about 9 years ago, so maybe that popped in my head, and you were just like looking like, all right. Sorry. It was a long day. Even though it was a short day at work, it was a long day at work.
You're lucky that I caught it.
Yeah, you caught it.
I could just
let it go,
probably
right?
let it go and not even notice.
Today.
But anyway, the show today, it's a few things that I want to talk about. But let's start by the last City Council meeting. Yeah. Did you watch the last City Council meeting?
Yes, I believe I did. I know you love going to them, which I understand. I totally get it. But I also like staying at home and watching it, because if I get bored with something, I can just look at my phone or could get up, get a drink or whatever.
Well,
that's the benefit of that.
That's the thing. You don't have Facebook now, because you could watch the second part of the City Council on Facebook.
Yeah, you're right. No, I don't have that, so I'm
because on Facebook, it's funny, because every time that they have an issue on Facebook and the City Council is talking, people are answering on the Facebook. Gosh. So it's so nice. Sometimes I'm sitting there in the chamber at City Council, and I'm on Facebook, because I know that's a live TV.
Exactly.
I know what's going on Facebook.
Yeah. But,
and the most things you can is, can you shut your mouth? Yeah. Can you stop talking?
Oh my God! Yeah. See, I'm glad I don't have that.
But there's a few things that was very interesting. One is, and I believe we talked about that on the last meeting, is about the person in charge of the veterans.
Yes.
That now we have like Leo Pelletier paddling back, and we have other city councils paddling back. But when she got approved by them, that was the best thing that ever happened to that veterans was this lady, because she's coming with a lot of experience, and she's coming with, and she don't come alone. She bring her dog with her, and don't dare touch the dog. That's Linda Pereira. Don't dare touch the dog, because the dog is not to be touched.
Yeah, well, that's
and a lot of that. Yeah. And now everybody's throwing her under the bus.
Yeah. Well, I don't think everybody is. I don't think everybody is. No, I did, and I totally understand the dynamic. With that, it's a new person coming in. Mm-hmm. They have their own way of doing things, and then you have folks that are used to the old way, so they're going to have to work that out. But I think both sides are going to have to give a little bit, and I think with any relationship, and that kind of is a relationship, you have to communicate. So I believe they had some kind of sit down between the two parties and some folks from the city, and they were going to address that. So. Hopefully they will. But I think it's a lot of communication, to be honest with you. I think that's the issue there.
Well, and John, that comes back to something that we talk on this show over and over again. people do not like changes.
Yeah. Well, I agree. I don't either.
People don't like changes.
I agree.
So if this is if this going smooth, if it's going nice, people don't like changes.
Yeah.
And supposedly, according to some city councils, what she's trying to do is following law and making some changes that to make it better.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but some people, and remember, this people that she's working with, it's a tough crowd because it's a kind of age crowd that they don't like too much change.
Yeah,
They like to.
Yeah, I think I don't know all the particulars, but what I can say is, there's your side, my side, and then there's the truth. So there's something in the middle of that too. So I think she comes from an area that she probably did everything. Everybody was used to her way, and I think it was Raynham. So they were used to a certain way of doing things, and now she's got to kind of work with the folks that are here, because the vets do a lot of volunteer work in the city.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I don't think that the VSO can do their job without the veterans. So I think they just got a lot of communication.
And not every other city has the events that we have here.
Yeah.
She could probably come from a town that celebrates Veterans Day a year, one Veteran Day a year. We have constantly events for veterans.
Yeah.
We have constantly things going on in the city we have the events at the location. Okay, and they have food pantries, and they have like the city council said, Veterans Day we started visiting monuments at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's all day long.
Yeah. Oh no, it is because there are different monuments they go to.
So she's probably not used to that too, and probably she wants to cut some of those because makes no sense to her.
Yeah.
But that's what we used to.
Yeah.
That's what our veterans are used to.
And I hear what you're saying with that, but I know on Veterans Day there's look at how many monuments are at Bicentennial Park. Each of those monuments, people worked hard to get those in there. So, and I know on a Veterans Day, I remember I would always go, and probably haven't done it in a year or two because of COVID, but at Snake Hill in North Park, there's a monument to the Desert Storm folks that was put there. There were trees planted, there's a pathway, and I would always attend that because I was part of a group that helped to put it together, the tree portion of it at least. So that's important to each group that worked on it. Veterans worked on that group. That's important to them. So
no, we have monuments that get visited that day all over the city. You have the Richard Urban. It's in charge of like 2 or 3.
Yeah, there's one in the South End. On South
they have
Main,
South End. They had Niagara Park too. They have one at Niagara Park. They have, I believe, on North. But I mean, it's so many events that they have that it's the whole day. They have the whole day. And now I think they added the 9/11 at the waterfront.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, so that's another one.
I mean, but that's that's the day. You know what I mean? So it's to be expected that on Veterans Day, people work to get these monuments or these things together. That you're gonna have to help, or not help. You're gonna have to go there. So I don't think that's
And but I think that the what she came to was into a community that we have organizations that build houses for vets. We have organizations that feed the vets. We have organizations that I mean, it's so much during the year that it's done every week. Whatever, that she's probably not, she didn't know that they had this much work.
And it's easy to, look at something as it's done and then look back and say, well, it could have been done better this way. So I totally get that. That's why I think the whole communication portion of it should improve. And in fact, at the meeting, they were talking about something about removing wreaths or something. And the city had to go do that, where the veterans did that. So why not let them do that? They've been doing it all along, and it saves time with the city, you know, man hours doing that. So, you know, it probably was just miscommunication. And hopefully they'll.
And that comes back to the city really not taking advantage of neighborhood groups that could do a lot of things that could take out of the employees. And a lot of groups will be glad to do it, and group volunteers to do it, and that will be one last thing for the employees of the city to do it. But some mayors work more with those groups and those volunteers than others. But you know, lately it's been like, let's blame on COVID.
Yeah.
Okay, let's blame on COVID. On this one, let's blame on COVID.
Let's hope this is
because he was there only for 6 months when COVID hit. So,
well,
you know,
I'm just hoping that we're coming to the end of this COVID era. Hopefully,
I hope
where they
so.
took the masks. You know, people didn't have to have them on the planes.
They had a
People
party on
clapping.
the plane.
Yeah, they were having parties. There was a flight attendant that I saw that was actually crying, saying, "I've had to do this for 2 years." So hopefully, you know what I mean, we're going to have learned that you have to live with this.
And I bet will be less fights inside planes because of masks.
Yeah, there's a bad
because a lot of fights was because of masks. They were mandating people to put masks, and people had to. They didn't want to keep the masks on, and so it was a mess. It's been a mess, you know, for 2 years with masks. Put masks, not put masks. Then we need to put masks again, and you know, now it's not this kind of mask. It's that kind of mask. You know, it's a mess.
Now you need 2 more shots. But, you know, so we'll see, right? We'll see. See what happens.
So another thing that came on the meeting that caught my attention too, and matter of fact, I already met with the city council, Andrew. I mean, I had meetings about stuff for the school that we do with the kids every year that I had to go and book and all of that. But on the meantime, I said, since I'm here with you, let's talk city business. So put your city council hat on. Now, not a principal from the school. Now I want to talk to the city council.
Yeah.
So, and one thing that caught my attention too is the streets closing. I don't know if you caught that on the meeting.
Yeah.
Which has been a big issue. People, you know, have to turn right, left, you know, because of things. And out of that, I told them that, and it was mentioned that the school department gets notified the streets closing. But the companies that drive the buses don't get the notification from the school department.
Why not?
So here's the thing. So if you're driving a bus, and this was mentioned, the streets closed was mentioned, so a city council mentioned about a lady that drive a bus, you know, complained about.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking for the bus drivers, if you have a kid to pick up on Tremont Street, it's a one-way. You start on the top, and the kid lives on the bottom of Tremont Street. Here's the thing. Or lives on the center of Tremont Street for this case. The bus driver gets to Tremont Street, cannot go through. That bus driver has to call the office. The office have to call the parents. The parents have to walk the kid into the bus on the top, on the bottom of the street. So right there, the bus driver, it's already behind on his schedule, because we have a schedule to pick up the kid to be in time for school.
All right.
Okay?
Let me ask you this. Does the parent have the number of the bus company to say, hey, this is going on, and they could call up? Is that asking too much?
They probably don't know the construction until they leave for work.
Okay. All right.
That's number one. Number two, sometimes the kids get picked up and we don't know where the parents are.
Okay. All right.
The kid gets up.
Enough said.
Yeah, kid gets up, puts his clothes on, comes to the door, and waits for the bus.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Makes sense.
Okay.
Right.
So, If it's a small kid, probably the parents, it's with the kid. But if it's like a 10-year-old, the parent, we don't even see the parent. The kid is big enough to
to come out on
to
his
come
own.
to come out on his own. But here's the problem: is if the bus company gets notified that that Tremont Street is closed, even before the buses leave, now the bus company has time, even before we got the buses, to call the parents and say, guess what? Close. I got notified that Tremont Street is going to be closed, so bring your kid for that time on the corner of the street.
Makes sense.
Okay,
Makes sense.
just makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that caught my attention is the bus drivers don't get notified when the street is closed. And that's a big problem to drop kids in school. Now, and I told Andrew, since that we are on the table having conversations about traffic and about closing of streets, let's have conversations about trash pickup. Because we do have a big problem with trash pickups. They, when the city used to be in charge of the trash, they will organize their pickup, so they will not be around schools doing drop-offs and pickups. Because they know they were going to be stuck. They're going to be stuck with parents bringing the kids, and the parents will be stuck with them picking up trash. So when was the city in charge of trash, they will work, and we will never have problem. Every time that we had a problem, we will call the city. The truck got notified. Don't be there for that time. Go to the up street instead of the bottom, then come to the bottom when the kids are in school. Not that we have private pick up trash. Now, I got the bus. I got a truck on Tremont Street. Okay, I have 7 kids to pick up. If the kid, it's not waiting for me, I have to give every kid 3 minutes. So out of 7 kids, if 3 kids are behind in time, I'm already 9 minutes behind. By the time I get to school. Okay. So now I'm coming down Tremont Street to pick up a kid on all the way on the bottom of Tremont Street, and I got to pick up a trash truck. And Andrew said, well, if I'm on my car, I took the first right or left. I said, yes, but I cannot take the first right or left because I have a kid to pick up down the street. So that's a big problem. If they are on Tremont Street and they cannot pull over, it's one thing. But when they can pull over, because I can see that's enough space for them to pull over to the sidewalk, and it's no cars parked there. It's no reason for that truck keepers all behind them, especially transportation, school transportation. So that's another problem that I said, since you're going back on the table to conversations, you guys need to have conversations, because if it's not on the books, nothing, you need to put rules on the books that these trucks need to be out of the way of
and
school transportation.
I get that. I mean, where I am, it's mostly, the streets are wider, so you don't run into that issue. But, and I think, at least from what I've seen, a lot of times they don't want to pull over because they're afraid people are going to go around them and hit them. But I totally get that. If you're responsible to get kids in for a certain time, it creates an issue. So what was the resolution? They're gonna.
I asked them if you need to look into it, because if it's no resolution, which I believe that it's not, because we used to work together with trash pickup. We don't need to put a resolution when it's our people picking up the trash, and they will understand. Okay, and and remember, they were not done by 5. They didn't have to rush to be done by 5 when we was used to pick up. They will start at 9 until they're done. Could be 9 o'clock at night.
Exactly.
Now that they are on a schedule, they don't care. They need to be done by 5. So it's like they don't care. So if it's no resolution on the books, they need to have one. They need to talk about this and put something on the books.
I would think maybe the bus companies and the schools should get together, because it must affect the schools if these kids are late, right? So you would think that those two.
Well, that's the thing. If a kid gets transportation,
Yeah.
they will not get late on. So they will not be.
They're not going to be charged late or whatever.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, but still.
But still, the fact that the kid's getting late. Because remember, a lot of these kids, they have breakfast before school.
Exactly.
If they get late, forget about breakfast.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and that's another thing. Because the bus companies don't have enough drivers, the bus drivers are doing 2, 3 routes.
Yeah.
Okay? So after I pick up my regular routes and bring the kids to school, I have to run all the way to New Bedford
Ouch.
to pick up another kid in New Bedford to bring him to Fall River.
Wow.
So if I'm already behind,
Yeah.
I'm already going to pick up the kid late in New Bedford. So that kid forget about breakfast because he's not going to be able to make it in time to school.
Yeah.
And that kid, the school starts, Laturner starts
Is it
20 past 8.
Yeah. I was going to say they're late.
20 past 8.
Yeah.
I never get there before 8:30
Oh, from New Bedford.
from New Bedford.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, it makes sense. There's traffic.
know?
It depends on where you are in New Bedford. There's probably traffic there too.
Yes, yes. Especially if you catch lights and everything when you come out of the highway. So it is a big problem. The trash pickup is become a problem.
Well, hopefully they look at that. I mean, we still haven't resolved the trash problem here. All they've done with the trash problem is it's being financed out of the general fund. So those $3 or $4 million that we're spending on it, right, it could be used for something else. So it's kind of like the problem's disappeared, but it's still there. So I don't have a lot of confidence. Maybe and sorry, Carlos, but I don't have a lot of confidence. It's going to be corrected, but
and we need to go back into the contract again.
Yeah.
Because the contract needs to be renewed.
Yeah. Well,
You think we're going to save money there on the new contract?
Everything's gone up. Inflation's gone up. So I mean, everything.
I don't think we're going to
We're
save.
not. I mean, if you look, and this is something you probably noticed, you go to the store, and sometimes you go the next week, and something's not like 50 cents more; it's $1 more, the product. So I think we're going to get baked with that or whatever the right term is, but we're going to get burnt, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting. You got to get on them, my friend. You got to get on them.
Well, that was 2 things that I picked up from the last meeting. Another thing that's going on now is that we mentioned a couple of shows ago, the passing of Kelly.
Yeah, you said yeah.
The passing of Kelly, somebody got, she was not even,
Cold.
Yeah. She had somebody in the office took over.
Oh, Jesus.
And, it's complaints already. People already complained to Boston that the papers was not, I think it's running for office, and the person in charge now, which supposedly don't have, I don't know him personally.
Yeah.
I know him because you worked in a couple of campaigns that I knew the candidates.
Yeah.
I don't know much about the experience. The only thing I know is working in the office for a year, on that office for a year, and he got nominated now to replace Kelly. And problem is that he didn't accept some signatures because of people didn't did the census, which they say that one thing don't have to do with the other.
Okay.
That could be, lack of information, lack of experience that you don't have. And the only thing I have to say that I'm curious is, I know it's another lady there working at that office, probably that came in right after Kelly. So she has to be in that office at least for 8 years now.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I'm pretty sure that she will have a lot more experience. And because this kid he's a young kid.
Yeah.
So
I wonder if maybe the person didn't want that responsibility though.
Well, could be too. Could be too. But that was never brought up. I mean.
All right. Yeah.
I will understand if somebody said, well, it was another person in the office, but she didn't want to be she didn't want the position.
Yeah.
It was not the case. The case was this kid was nominated and this kid was put on the position and that's it. So
you're more in the know than I am.
Here he comes. Yeah, but that's the problem. Here comes another problem for us. Because election office, it's one of the offices that's been fair, that's been working fine. Okay, so far we not have. I mean, Kelly was very worried following the law. And Kelly was, if she didn't know, she would not make.
And I think
she would be in Boston.
But I think sometimes this is something to do with the state level, because you had brought up an issue one time that I was like, why are they doing that? And it was at the state level that they were doing that. So I mean,
Well, what is being announced is that the mayor give him the job,
position.
The position.
All right. Yeah, I'm not, like I said, I'm not in the know.
I don't even know if they have to go through city council. I don't know if they have to be approved by city council, because the lady on the veterans, she had to be approved by the city council.
Maybe it's the department heads, I think.
So,
is that a department head job? Must be a department head, right?
Must be a department head.
Well, maybe that'll have to go through the council. You'll see that it'll be on the agenda.
Well, but I mean, if you got the position already, I don't see how. That brings me back to a mayor that does this stuff first.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
You give him the check and then he asks for the money.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah. Well, let me. I think we're coming to the end,
Here's the
right?
check.
Are we coming to the end?
No, we still have about 5 minutes.
Oh, we still got 5 minutes. All right.
4 minutes.
Well, on a lighter note, there was a Easter egg hunt at the White House. Did you see that?
No.
Right, there was an Easter egg.
Well,
every year they have an Easter egg.
You sure it was not at City Hall?
No, it was at the White House. Every year they have it, and I think it might have been stopped because of COVID.
Yeah.
So there's like a video out there of the president talking to some reporters.
Yeah.
And the Easter Bunny took him away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it was like, who's in the Easter Bunny costume that did that? But it was just, I've seen it on so many different things where, he's there talking to people and the Easter Bunny's like, and he got scared when the Easter Bunny came up and then she's carting him away. Oh, yeah? so I was like, hey, real life sometimes is better than comedy, you know what I mean? The Easter Bunny's now moving the president. I've never seen such a thing, but I guess, So.
Maybe it was too much for his eyes.
Yeah, well, maybe he was talking too much, and they don't want him talking too much because the reporters are not they're not always the nicest people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So. I mean, ask Donald Trump.
Or anybody else, right? I mean,
ask Donald Trump.
Sometimes the reporters can be
tough. They were worst with him because he was always picking on them too.
Yeah.
So they said, it's like pay Tom.
Yeah. I think he hit back is more, what it was.
Well, that's what he's saying now.
Yeah.
That I saw that the interview that he did, it was like, one thing I would do different this time. I would not picking them too much.
Yeah, but I mean, with this, we have this president that called a reporter a stupid SOB.
Yeah.
Like on there, so it's like, I don't know if, President Trump could be abrasive. Totally, I get it. But I don't think he ever called out somebody and swore at him and stuff like that. So. It's in the end, Carlos. I've said this. You probably believe it. They're all the same.
And it's an N.
Yeah.
A, it's an A.
Yeah. No matter what it is, DR, independent, it's all the same. You know what I mean? In the end, they're looking out for their interest or their folks' interest. And maybe it's not.
Well,
the best thing that's
it's funny. We have a couple of minutes. It's funny because it's been a while since I turned to Fox News. Yeah. And this week I was home. I said, let me see what's going on Fox News. Yeah. Doesn't matter what it was Biden. It was Biden this. Yeah. If it was Trump, it was this. Yeah. If it's Biden, it's Biden's fault because it was Donald was this. Yeah. And it's it's like. it's
There's
the
no
opposite.
change. But if you watch CNN now, because I watch CNN occasionally, because I have to get both sides of the issue and listen to other things. If you listen to CNN, everything happening right now is Donald Trump's fault. You
Yeah.
ever hear them on CNN saying that? So
Well, in 2 years would be the other
we
way.
got to turn it around. See?
Very good. So
good
the
night.
music's telling us it's the end of this show. We'll be back next week.
Table topics.